Pixel Show, episode 1.
Hi.
Hello. My name is Trey. I'm joined with Cameron, Sean, and Seth. And today we'll be talking to you about controllers. We'll have several different segments featuring the functionality and ergonomics of controllers, different kind of strange older controllers, and then just a general roundup of all the controllers.
Yep. Talk about the comfort, functionality, which ones we like best.
Yep. Different features and just a little bit of everything about controllers.
Now, I believe we should start with Seth because he's done some research on probably the oldest controllers.
Yes. The Magnavox Odyssey controller.
I've never even seen these before.
They
None of
are
us have.
530-year-old controllers.
okay. The article that I read on this controller, or one of the articles I read, compared it to the tools that cavemen used. It was a small little controller with two knobs. One controlled vertical movement, the other horizontal movement, and that's it.
Was it electronic?
Yes, it wasn't made of stone.
There were
But,
hamsters in the machine.
It might be cooler if it was.
but can you imagine playing with this thing? Playing like Call of Duty or something with this?
What
I
kind
can't
of
imagine playing
games
Call
are
of Duty
on-
at all.
Shut up.
What kind of games are actually on the,
Well, I know
the Odyssey?
the Odyssey.
Pong,
You had screen overlays that
Yes.
went over the television. It was a plastic printed piece that was transparent and just went over the TV.
and as far as I can tell, they were all the same game.
Yeah, you really, all the actual console did was display either 1 or 2 pixels on the screen that you moved around, and the
Oh,
overlay created the game.
technology.
That's
Actually-
trippy.
The commercial for it
Hmm.
was a hockey game, and it was Pong. I mean,
They're all Pong. Every game is Pong.
every game that was on these old systems was Pong.
That's,
Which that kind of segues to one of your other controllers, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about the Atari 2600 controller.
that's right.
That is probably, for its time, the most perfect controller made. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
That is a bold statement, sir.
Except for the incredible discomfort.
all except for that one.
we'll get to the comfort later on in the show. But I mean,
Yeah.
That's true.
really though, I mean, for any game you needed to play, you didn't need anything but a joystick and a button.
For the time, the Atari really standardized the joystick,
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah,
essentially.
it was the proper joystick.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think. Atari was a company that made arcade games.
Hmm.
They were an arcade company, and they're the ones that brought it into the home. I mean, serious gaming into the home.
Right.
I mean, what else did you need? It was the same. It was the same thing you were used to. I think that was a big part of their controller design. Is it was what people were used to.
That's true.
That you didn't want to change it too much.
Well, not only that, but I mean, for the games of the time, you didn't need an overly advanced controller. You needed movement, a couple buttons, and essentially that was it.
Yeah, and that's the oldest controller I can remember. I mean, I guess I do remember the double paddle Pong controllers, but
Well, yeah.
which 2600 was the original.
Brings me to my next topic: the Pong controller.
Ah,
That it was built into the console, and the console's about 8 inches or something.
Yeah, it's like an iPad.
Yeah.
yeah.
And okay, say Sean and I were playing it. We had to sit like this right here.
You just
I
gotta
know.
snuggle up.
It brought us closer together. But all there was were 2 knobs and the console. And you sit there and turned your little knob,
Sounds sexy.
moved your paddle. I know this game sounds amazing.
I can't swear that I've ever actually seen this.
Really.
Just a Pong console in general.
I don't.
You have to recognize the double paddle Pong. It was just a brown
I may just
Box
not be like.
with a
I may just not be
knob.
remembering
with a
it.
wire and like an old school thermostat
yeah,
control.
It wasn't before our time.
Ooh, yeah.
Wasn't
Was it
before my
though?
time.
Oh yeah.
Not my time.
That amazed me, seeing that controller, that it was just built into the console and one piece of equipment for 2 people to play on. People don't like each other good enough these days to play something
Not
like that.
anymore.
Yeah.
Back then.
Well, I mean, that's like today. If we were all four of us to play a split screen game, it would feel awkward because that's not been a thing for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, screen peeking
Yeah, I mean, for
it
God's
runs
sake,
rampant.
I still get mad if we're playing
GoldenEye
split.
all over again.
Yeah,
Look at my screen, boy.
I know. I remember my brother and I playing GoldenEye on 64. And I would get so mad. I would be like, quit looking at my screen. Stop looking at my screen. And the whole time I'm looking at his, trying to.
You want
Yeah.
you want to know a secret?
What's that?
I was never smart enough to think about that.
Never occurred to me.
Well, it's certainly not a
The
secret now.
advantage.
I'm dead serious. I never thought, I'm playing this game. This guy's over here, same screen.
I could just
Let me
see
look and see what he's doing. Never, ever.
You
Get
were,
this
a,
huge insight.
you were an honest gamer.
Apparently, I was an idiot gamer.
I even built blinders when I was a little kid for that stuff and taped a blanket to the TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Screen peek now, you son of a bitch.
Hey, what's going on? I was like, wow.
Okay, well, in your guys' opinion, what is the first modern controller?
Use guys.
I can't even really call it modern now. I would
Well-
call it retro, but I think the original Nintendo really
Yeah, that,
solidified what a controller
that's
should
the
be.
structure of controllers now.
That-
It's based off that.
That was my thoughts. That is the first. What do you consider the first?
Super Nintendo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason.
Because it built on the original Nintendo. Don't at me. It built on the original Nintendo concept and improved upon it. And to this day, in my opinion, you can look at almost any controller, and they look a lot like a Super Nintendo controller at its core.
That is true.
I can see that.
When I would say Origin, though, I'd still throw it back to the original Nintendo one because
That's
it's
true.
That
it was the first of its type. Like it did get advanced upon a lot
Right.
before the Super Nintendo, but
I will point out, like, if you take a PlayStation controller and you were to just chop off the handles, you have a Super Nintendo
Yeah,
controller right there.
that is
It's,
true.
it's the circular, and then
Right.
my thing is you had the D-pad.
the D-pad really made it.
That is what
Yeah.
revolutionized controllers to me.
I can go in 4 directions.
Yeah.
That's down from 8 from the Atari.
See, that's why I throw it back to the original.
I got you.
so
To me,
regardless, a Nintendo controller
Yeah.
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
the birth of the modern controller.
Well, why don't we take a look?
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we take a look at the Nintendo controller now?
Okay. Little bitty box, very lightweight. God, this is so simple compared to what I'm used to these days.
It's
You
also
have-
very, very small. Like
You have
one hand.
D-pad, select, start, 2 buttons, and I don't know. It feels right, but that's because I'm used to this controller. I still play these games today, so
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
now let me see
that's-
this thing here. Real
okay.
quick. All right, okay.
tell me what you have an issue with.
You know,
Let me tell you.
why
the
do you
thing.
have to assume I have a problem with everything? Because I do. Anyway, and I don't really have a problem per se.
Okay.
However, holding this controller as a year-old man, this is not bad.
right.
This is not bad.
Okay.
However, I picture 7-year-old Sean sitting there, trying to figure out where to put his fingers.
Chewing on a slate.
Yeah,
You have that problem a lot, don't you?
we're putting my fingers.
Yeah.
Pervert.
Whoa.
And my other kind of problem with
Okay,
this
okay.
is the corners.
They are very
the corners.
jagged.
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
sharp.
So you're like, let's say you're playing Call of Duty.
Oh, what a
All right.
modernist.
Yeah. You're sitting there, you're really into it, and you're digging your hand into the corners, and then you draw blood.
I mean, that's the end game
Yeah,
right
that's-
there.
Yeah.
You got to rage quit after
You
you
know what the bad thing
Can I see
is?
that one more time?
I get that way playing Mario. I'm like,
It is.
Seriously?
yes, because I suck at Mario.
What are you doing?
I mean, yeah, they're jagged, but
trying-
God, to draw blood.
He's fapping.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, it's that kind of party.
Yeah, that was before they started like contouring and beveling the edges to where it's
Right.
actually.
One thing I
capable
love
of being
though,
held.
when you're into the game,
Yeah, the
the-
crack, the
crackling.
crackle. Yeah.
you gotta love it.
Yeah.
Seth,
let's see. I am not a Nintendo fan, but I love this controller.
The
I love-
simplicity.
I
do.
love the front, the look of the controller.
Yeah, aesthetically, it's quite pleasing.
Do you think that's because of our age that we're like that? You and I especially,
Mm.
because this was all we had,
Well, for
Yeah.
you know,
and it's just I love
for
it.
years, yeah, it was literally pretty much. I mean, all there was.
And that sound, I don't know if y'all hear this, but the button sound.
Yeah,
The
Tho-
mechanical feel.
yeah.
Those
I like
buttons.
knowing that I hit the button
But
by
see,
hearing it.
the thing about this controller that I will give it
Okay.
is very well made.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
that-
yes.
You
Oh,
cannot
yes.
break these
It's
things.
as
No,
durable
I've
as
tried.
it gets.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna. I don't want to break
Snaps
it.
around.
Oh my god, my controller!
Yeah, that just and this look right here, it's iconic.
It is.
It is.
I have a
Very
belt
true.
buckle.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah,
I've seen.
extremely
Yeah,
iconic.
I've got
exactly.
a T-shirt somewhere with this
Yeah.
on it. That is an icon
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
T-Ray.
So
Yeah, the beyond just the standard like basic construction of these things, it really is like a masterpiece of a controller. Like it still
Yeah.
holds up today.
yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Like yeah, it's not perfect, but and it was obviously improved upon with its future iteration Super Nintendo controller.
That
Yeah.
is true.
But it still provides all the functions it ever needed to.
Yeah.
Game in and game out.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, why don't we look at its older brother then?
Ah, yeah.
It's-
Here you go.
Thanks. Here we have this. This may be my favorite controller. I'm pretty sure it is. It's about the same weight, same structure, even more of the.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still hear the buttons.
You'd say it's still what 4 inches or so.
Yeah, let's take a
It's,
look
it's a
here.
little wider than the original. I
Yeah.
believe.
You have essentially the same controller, extra
Yeah, I mean,
buttons,
yeah,
LR
those top
bumper.
yeah.
You know, but at the same time, that you could see the evolution here, where they started going downwards. By the time you get to PlayStation, you have a whole handle down here.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It has a very pleasing feel to it. No jagged edges. No getting mad and stabbing your hand.
That same mechanical button sound and
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the D-pad better on the Super Nintendo. It's a little more like flow. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it's such a different
Well,
transition.
I
and-
prefer the D-pad on a different controller, but we'll get to that one in a minute.
Well, the thing about this controller is, let me see that. You know, on the original Nintendo controller, you literally had up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
With this one, you could start to do
Yeah,
the
you could the
diagonal
halfway.
movements
Yep.
Mhm.
in certain games or
Yeah, which
whatever.
adds 2 new axes to it.
Absolutely. Comfort wise, it's fine. It's fine. I can see.
It's not terrible.
I can see. Yeah, I approve.
This
I can-
passes the control.
I can see, this being a little easier for a child to hold.
Yeah.
Simply because, like I said with the original one, it's not got those corners. It doesn't. It feels for the hand and the way it contours. This feels like it fits it better,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
What makes this controller for me are the bumpers.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
And that is, now a staple of the modern.
It is.
Yeah.
any
It is.
modern controller. Yeah.
Mhm.
If I were to play with a controller nowadays and it did not have a bumper, I would be so
I
pissed
quit.
off.
Look at your
but-
Steam controller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want one so bad. But anyway, it just again, it is a work of art as
Yeah.
far as controllers go.
Yeah,
Another iconic.
It
this
is.
is very true.
It's
Yep.
simple, and back then they built controllers to get the job done.
Yeah.
That is what this was created for. It wasn't to be fancy.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
It
no
was-
flash or bells and whistles
No.
on one of those.
No.
It was to get
Once
the
again,
job done.
still remaining simplistic with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then as a modern controller elitist, I guess. I mean, the one thing, I like a certain amount of heft to a controller. It has to weigh. I have to feel like it's in my hands. I still like these older controllers, but they still it weighs
Yeah,
literally 3 ounces or something,
Yeah.
and it's kind of negligible to feel.
Well, right there in your lap
Yeah, will
is
you
its
pass
arch
me that one?
nemesis, which
Ah.
is heavier.
See,
They're much superior.
for the day, I preferred the Genesis controller.
As did I.
It doesn't have the bumpers, I'll get that, but the D-pad on this controller, I love the D-pad.
Everything about that controller is fucking gargantuan.
Yeah,
It is
I do.
very
But it
chode-like
feels
controller.
to me this controller feels so much more comfortable.
It does have more of a curved
Uh,
appeal altogether.
Very
Uh,
spacey.
And
Yeah.
if anyone ever played a lot of Street Fighter,
Hmm.
you needed that D-pad like that.
Well, that did feature the whole axis. You know?
Yeah, it was. The D-pad, in my opinion, made this controller just because of its gargantuan. Like you said, it's huge.
Yep. And I'll throw my hat in the ring too for those just the face buttons on it.
Oh yeah.
The bigger, like manlier button,
Yeah.
That's a man's button.
commanding to be pressed.
Yeah.
But it does lack on how many buttons it has.
Yeah,
You've
down to
you've cut
4.
down a little bit.
I think this may be the first time I've ever held a Genesis controller.
Well, we did play Sonic that one time.
Did we? Did
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't think, did he?
I don't think I did I?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
that was
Oh.
in the.
Okay,
You were
then this
Tails,
is,
that's right.
this is the second. Oh yeah, I found you. This is the second time I've ever held, and it just probably where I didn't grow up with it. Never really played them. It feels so awkward to me,
Now,
and I'll tell you why.
okay,
This part
it just
seems to come in a little more.
Which you can see, it's still trending toward the more modern style controller.
Right.
They do look more like that now.
It feel
Maybe not a
and
boomerang.
it's not just this part, but it's this part. It feels like the sides of it are out too far for the angle that this bottom part
yeah,
I
it's,
see
like,
what you're
slopes in.
saying.
it's so fat.
You know.
See, I played more Genesis than I did Super NES.
Yeah,
so
I
to
did
me,
too.
that control it just feels natural.
Right. And that's why it's awkward to me.
Now, you guys remember the turbo controllers
Mhm.
for
I do.
Genesis?
Yep.
And they looked like a giant version of this.
Yep.
I mean, they were
And
huge.
they had a switch you could toggle turbo modes, which would program
Let me see
buttons.
this.
That was the biggest piece of junk that Sega ever put out.
That's the war right
This
there.
is the war that began.
Yeah.
It is.
You know,
And-
but
And I mean, it's no lie that Nintendo honestly won the war.
Right.
But I feel like Sega
Oh.
doesn't get enough mention.
no,
That
no.
they put up
I
a
agree.
pretty valiant fight.
They
now-
almost won.
Yeah.
As,
They
an,
would
as an
have.
adult, I find this ergonomically pleasing, and it feels right for my hands.
Yeah.
But now, you know,
As
I'm
an adult.
6'4". I mean, my hands are huge, and this
Yeah. Look at those.
this is
monkey
normal
claws.
for me. But you know, these are big buttons. I mean, comparatively.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't hate it. I don't
Yeah.
hate it. It just
That's-
feels awkward to me.
But
You can see
Well-
the more boomerang style coming out.
And you know,
Right.
the whole original Genesis system, the 16-bit Genesis, was a huge system.
now
Yeah.
there is one step in evolution that completely went off course.
Yeah, that and unfortunately we don't have one but a Dreamcast
That
controller
we
too.
Yeah.
discuss. They would
But
discuss.
dun dun dun.
Now, the biggest thing, I hold it this way.
Yeah.
99% of Nintendo 64 games do not use the damn D-pad.
That is true.
They loved this design so much that this was going to be your main thing.
I still have a scar on my hand from having
Mario
to
Party.
spin that stupid analog.
And I'm not gonna lie, you had to do this to get
You-
it faster.
you had to.
That would have been fine if that stick wasn't made of cheap plastic.
Yeah, number one, you burn your hand. These things give out quickly. I can wiggle it because
Yeah.
it's partially
Yeah,
already.
see.
I will say I've put hours in using that controller.
Yeah.
So.
This
Then-
feels right, but then you can't really reach that
see,
well.
Now, when I was a kid,
Mhm.
can I say that for a second?
Yeah.
I play just like you play, right-handed though,
Yeah,
like that. I also have huge hands.
Oh.
I cannot do that now. When I was a kid, that was
That was a
perfect.
little different, yeah.
It was. Now my fingers hit that right there, and I'm.
Well, let's
I
not
just
forget
noticed something.
you have a Z trigger in
you
the
did
back.
the right-handed
I
thing.
just
Yeah.
noticed something interesting.
What's that?
You held it like this.
I held it like this.
This feels right to me.
Yeah, I held
But-
it like that too.
But see-
even as
see,
being
now, even as
right-handed.
a
Yeah.
kid, my hands were big enough to hit those buttons over like that.
With my 13th pinky.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I always held it in my right hand.
Hmm.
And sometimes, you know, I can hit
That's
them,
interesting.
but I would play like that. I played weird.
But see, this is my okay. You know, if I was, a child,
Okay.
or even right now as an adult, I picked this up, never saw it before in my life. I would be like, how the fuck do you hold this thing?
Yeah, what is this thing protruding from the back?
Yeah, what is this? Why is this thing...
Why is there a button randomly located
Yeah,
away from
you've
all
got-
the other ones?
You've got a button back here. You've got the bumpers.
Fine.
That's, you know, that's normal. That's the
familiar now.
progress. I have 3 things to hold. I have 2 hands.
What I
What am
wanna
I
know-
supposed to do? Hold it like that? I mean, you know.
This is my thing with it. If they would have just moved this right here and done away with this,
Well,
I
you
could
have-
still hit
that
that
would have been
button.
fine. That would have been fine.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I mean,
But, you know, it's like, you know, you hold it like this, or you hold it like this, or you hold it like this, or you hold it like this, or... I mean, how do you hold the damn thing?
it's true.
Well,
I
this
mean,
is the controller.
You evolved
Yeah, look at this.
from this.
I
I mean,
That's
it's,
not that's de-evolution.
yeah. I just want to show you here. That's
It got a dong.
It went,
That's
it
essentially
went
what
really
happened.
wrong.
yeah.
Well, this is the one that made me start with that crab claw style of games.
Yeah,
I would hold
can
it like
see
this.
that.
So you would play it like
On,
that?
on one of these, I would play with that
That is
crab
so
claw
bizarre.
technique. Yeah, there weren't a lot of button mashing. Like, these buttons weren't necessarily spam. The A and B might be, but your thumb still had that.
this is true.
These were like precision buttons, and I could get around
Yeah,
with
You
them.
must have a hell of a lot more coordination than I do.
It is terrible for your wrist and your hand.
See-
Don't ever.
For God's sakes,
Play
his
like
hand
this.
right now. Is,
I have a claw.
There are so many different ways you can play with one of those
Yeah, you
controllers.
can play like
That's
this
true.
too.
Yeah, I've done
This is
that.
true.
Which
Played like
is-
that a lot.
God awful.
It just feels wrong.
Yeah, but I did.
Oh.
I did when I played with it. Played
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean, at the time these came out, you know, we also then had its next rival, Sony.
Yeah.
So
Which
Yeah.
it was close to this.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of difference.
no, and to me, like I was mentioning earlier, you look at this, and you see once again kind of the
That
same
same style.
overlay,
You do
except
see-
you're
You see the progress though of starting with this and you can see it.
yeah,
You
it's
can-
growing outward.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
even more
Yeah.
so in an original PlayStation controller that didn't have the analog sticks.
Yeah, they're
Right.
original. ones.
Yeah.
They were almost the same
Yeah.
as far as button layout.
Now, I will give Sony this, even though I'm with Sean on the 360 being more pleasing in comfort. This is fine. These jut down too far to where I feel like this is just not even.
Yeah.
It's
See,
not. It's not a flat piece. It comes downward.
See, I,
And I
I
get
don't
the idea.
I don't get that feeling from one.
But it
They
just-
did fix that.
Yeah, that is true. But you know, this is a PlayStation
that's
3
what you said.
controller,
Yep.
essentially
That's
modeled
what I did
similar
prefer.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little thinner, a little lighter. The
You know,
the button or the triggers, the R2 and L2 buttons for that are actually independent. They're not socketed into the
Yeah.
controller, so they
And-
actually hinge as triggers.
somewhere in the evolution, we also have
Yeah,
clicking the analog
Yeah.
sticks.
Yeah.
yeah. I remember my first the first time I ever
sorry.
found a
Just-
game with DualShock 2 was what that
L3.
technology is. The L3 and R3 buttons.
Yeah, I was like, what in the hell is the L3?
And their D-pad is split up into 4 separate buttons as opposed to an entire,
Yeah.
cross.
Yeah, see, I have less of a problem than you do
Right.
with how that juts out. Because I feel like it fits in your hand.
It does.
It
I
fits,
can't
it
argue.
fits just fine. You can reach everything.
Mhm.
You can reach all the buttons on each side. You can reach the joysticks or analog sticks, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
You can
I'm
crab
old.
claw it.
I'm old, so I call them joysticks. You can you can do this whichever fashion you want to, I guess. That crab claw thing, I don't even know about that. Whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it is a comfortable controller to me.
See, this, out of the modern day up to this gen, not counting this gen, this was my favorite controller.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an Xbox guy.
Mhm.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Which now I do hold this weird with my pinkies up on top of it. But so that is, to me, this is the most comfortable controller of its generation. That's just me.
Yeah.
Are you saying the PlayStation line of controllers, or
Yeah.
specifically the PlayStation?
Well,
1?
up to the PlayStation. This is PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah.
This is my favorite controller out of those.
The PlayStation 4 controller, which we also have one for demonstration purposes,
Oh.
it's remarkably different.
yeah.
You think it's that much different?
Well, there's a touchpad on the.
Yeah,
starter.
But see, that's as far as the comfort level though.
Oh.
Oh, he's touching the pad.
I gotta get me one of them.
See, to me, that is up to now, that is the most comfortable controller ever created.
Do you want to hold my controller?
Yes.
Interesting.
See, that right there, that is perfection right there as far as controller goes.
Perfection.
Oh,
It is.
my.
What a lofty statement.
It is.
What a biased opinion.
It is. See, my opinion, everything's dead on where it needs to be.
Right.
The like its handles,
I've never actually held one of those.
they're so comfortable.
Go ahead.
They are pretty nice, honestly.
Hold my controller.
The
This
current,
is a huge, it's a huge difference.
Now that's
it's
not
not
just a
got-
touchpad
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's also you can click it in on the left and right sides.
Oh my god, it comes out. There's a little like bar in here.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
it's an awesome controller.
There's a lot of bells and whistles to it too.
It is, but still
Now, is this-
done simply.
Yeah,
Is this a speaker?
it
or
is.
what
Yeah,
is
you
this?
can. It's a mic. It's a mic input,
Yeah.
which it works questionably well. It works fine.
I didn't know that.
But see, there's another thing. There's a headphone jack in the controller.
Ah, that is true.
So
you,
you can-
you have started this trend.
Yeah, a headphone jack and a mic input.
I knew that was there.
There you are.
But what do you think?
I like it. It feels a little bulkier, but that's actually a good thing.
It
I do
definitely
like it.
feels heavier. It's definitely heavier.
I do like the heavier.
I do
That's
like
why I
that.
like it.
It feels. Let me see that. You know, you can see there's an obvious.
Yeah, how he got fatter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not, and there's not nearly as much of a
Angle.
curve
Yeah.
to the handle.
I like that.
This and a Wii U are the only consoles I have anymore right now. So obviously this is what I do most of my playing on. But so I'm used to this more.
Right.
I do like this controller. But it's not my favorite controller.
Ah.
Yeah, they changed a lot of stuff with these controllers too. I mean, I don't know if you noticed on the N64 controller, if you'll show them that or the memory card slot that's on it. I mean, obviously we've evolved away from memory cards at this point, but
Get that sucker out. There's a button.
yeah, there's an ejection slot.
That's been in there for years, and that memory card does not work.
Is that Anthrax?
Could be. The only reason I leave that in there is for the weight.
Yeah,
That's why it's in there.
It does
and
create
it
a difference.
balances out the
Yeah,
controller.
I wish I had a rumble.
I have.
The rumble
I
pack
think
was
I have an extra one. I just didn't bring it over.
Well, let's get back to our. We haven't introduced our
my
Microsoft's
The unanimous
name for
favorite.
the
favorite.
game.
Yeah, it should be the favorite.
360.
No, it's not. the
Maybe not
favorite.
this particular one.
Well, this
but like
is
that
this is
styling. That is
an
a smaller.
aftermarket.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
smaller. Honestly, I mean, you know, this is for the computer as well. But I really have always liked these controllers. This is a little different from Sony. I mean, you have one down here, one up here.
Yeah, they're
but
offset.
it feels so natural to
Yeah.
me like that.
Does it?
And even if I need to quickly switch to the D-pad for whatever reason.
Don't be a smart ass.
He's
Will you
disgusting.
shut up?
We let you talk
It was
about
a
your
question.
PlayStation
It was a
love
question.
affair.
It was an honest question.
Yeah, the
Steal my thunder here.
Sorry. and you still have the
Yeah.
you know, also once again, headphone jack in the bottom.
Yep.
This whole thing lights up. It's
By the way, this is an
translucent.
actual headphone jack. Like you can plug just stereo headphones
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it, and you can bypass sound output from the PlayStation to this controller.
Uh,
It's actually the way I use mine. Is I don't have speakers on the monitor that it's hooked up to, but I plug headphones into the controller
Right.
to get sound. It's actually it's super convenient because of that. But I mean, you know, that's a mic input for those.
Xbox 360.
mm,
This, I think a big reason that this is my hands down favorite controller out of every single one of them is I did most of my gaming on an Xbox 360.
oh, that certainly makes sense.
So I got used to the controller. Now this is a little smaller, I think, as you just said,
yeah,
but it still holds the same design, you know. And it just, to me, it's just, it just feels natural to hold this. What I like about it over the Xbox, over the PlayStation controller, is that these, while they stick out further, and at least I feel like they do, compared to the size of the actual console itself,
Right.
this what do you call that, chasm.
The back beveling for it.
Yeah. It just your fingers fit in there perfectly.
It locks
fits,
in.
It fits into the hand perfectly.
Which that, I mean, the thing it evolved from the original Xbox controller was, it went through a bunch of different iterations. It went through one that you had to have 48-inch long fingers to play, and it weighed 39 pounds.
Yep.
It made a bunch of different transitions back when it had black and white buttons. But
Yeah.
the that is what it turned into. It had it's the first thing to introduce the guide button, which
Yeah.
was the home of the entire console. You could get to anything you needed to from the guide button within reason.
Yeah.
And that centralized the controller a lot to where it was like good to play with and had a lot of good function with it too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to bring the Xbox controller of my favorite too. It's the same exact style. It's just a slightly different one with a specialized D-pad and just specialized stuff to it.
Right.
Well,
But still the
Seth?
best.
See, that just feels weird.
Yeah, well, fuck the PS3.
You heard it here first.
Oh, goodness.
Hush!
The adults are speaking.
Superior.
Okay, now hold on a
Much
second.
more
Hold on a
superior.
second here. Hold on, just 1 second. We didn't down the PlayStation
No, I like
controller.
the PlayStation controller.
He didn't even down the PlayStation controller.
This is the reason I don't play Xbox.
You're like waving a controller and saying this is the reason. It's
Yeah.
it's the controller itself.
Exactly. Dude, I cannot play on a Xbox.
What is it about it?
Yeah, please
I don't know.
do
They
iterate.
feel weird, and it could be that I never played on one a lot. And this one isn't as bad, but the original, I cannot use.
It has to be because the analog sticks are offset, right? Because the
That
button
would be the
structure,
Yeah.
the button structure is the exact
It
same.
could be. Something just feels weird about that.
Even the way I would hold a PlayStation controller, my hand wants to orient to an Xbox
Right.
style.
Right.
So that
Well, and see,
Just
like, I
bugs
never,
me.
I no matter what game I'm playing, I don't instinctively, unless I need to,
Yeah.
like, usually the left analog stick is to move.
Yeah.
The right is for the camera.
Unless you're a crazy person.
Right.
Well,
But, I will usually keep my left thumb on this analog stick and then just hold this
Yep.
hold this part of it.
right.
Hold this part of it. And then I've got my thumb free
Yeah.
to do whatever.
this side of the controller, I have no problem with it.
Well, then it's
But
It's
Right.
the
That-
analog
that-
stick.
yeah.
That feels so weird.
Which to me now, I know obviously the Dreamcast we don't have a controller to show right now, but
Yeah.
that had a different orientation as well. Was that something that kind of threw you off a little bit? It only
No.
had one analog
No,
stick.
not really. But now you have to remember, I hadn't got into PlayStation yet.
Okay.
Then.
The problem with the Dreamcast controller
There's
was
a
a brick.
hole. There's
It
a hole in
was
the
a
middle of
brick.
it.
That and it was just a brick that you held.
It
It's
was.
so strange.
Well,
That's the whole reason I never played Xbox. I could not stand the
Well,
controllers.
yeah, that's a valid reason.
It's
Well, the Xbox controller evolved into the Xbox One too. Xbox One
no,
controller.
I have not tried
Right.
the new Xbox controllers.
I
The,
like it less.
Really?
ah.
Yeah, I'll show you. Not that this is one, but the way the triggers are, they fatten out onto the sides,
Ugh.
which
That sounds gross.
it seems okay. You can press it more with the back side of your finger, but it
It
so,
seems like it would be cumbersome.
Yeah,
it is.
in
It's
the
so
way.
strange.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Plus, their analog texturing, there's like a weird gripping substance on it, which is fine, but it's I don't know why. I mean, how lubed up are your hands when you're playing that you need all these things? That's
well,
like
you have sandwiched there between Sony and
let's see.
Microsoft the iteration of Nintendo's own during this generation.
Which personally, I never liked the Wii. I get the simplistic, like it is intuitive. You can give
It
this
certainly
to,
is.
to anyone.
Each
Right.
has a sensor in it to allow you the movement.
Yeah,
Obviously,
this is the birth of motion controlling. I mean, beyond like the iToy
Yeah,
crap like
yeah.
that. But this is the real proper motion gaming controller that came with it, and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Uh,
We skipped over its other iteration of the GameCube controller,
Yes.
which was another just amalgam of a controller.
It was just random buttons everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it had
yeah.
a C stick,
Yeah.
The-
which
I think that
really-
controller had 85 buttons on it.
Did anybody think when they were designing that controller?
Certainly not.
These are the buttons.
Either
Put them
that
on
or they
there.
overthought
The
it.
only
Yeah.
thing that I will say is the bumpers felt perfect for the simple fact that they were concave and your fingers actually fit into
Exactly.
The main GameCube controller I had too, they had like a locking click to them.
Yeah.
The actual full bumpers.
You could tell when you
yeah.
hit that point.
Yep.
Mhm.
It was a mechanical.
Sean?
One of the most beautiful games ever made, in my opinion, and I know you'll agree, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess
Mhm.
was on the Wii. I did not play it on the Wii because I actually did buy a Wii at some point. I think I played it like 5 minutes and sold it. I'm fat. What do I want to be active for?
Right.
But I got a Wii U
Mhm.
and decided to get the Zelda games that were on the Wii because it was able to play on there. Little did I know that I was going to have to use this.
Yes.
I love the Zelda franchise, but I did not want to have to move with this and sit here.
Dear God.
I didn't want to do that. That's not why I play video games.
May I see that for a minute?
Absolutely.
During my Twilight Princess ventures, I would be sprawled, laying on the couch. This cord would be behind me with my arms behind me as well, laying on the couch, and as much motion as I would put it, I was just wiggle my arm.
Okay, well, see, that
You know,
may have
I'm
worked
moving
for
around
you.
just-
However, I got mad. All right? And when those motherfucking dark nuts would not die, and yes, that's what they are called, that is not a perverted joke, I would get mad and swing like a motherfucker.
I have a question.
I have an
What
answer.
is a dark nut?
It's like a knight.
It's like
It's
a
a
knight.
knight.
It's a knight.
You
A
have
fucking badass knight.
Somebody
Z,
was supposed to
C,
let me borrow that.
analog stick,
Probably me.
A, B minus plus 1, 2, D-pad. Now, I will say, in terms of a lot of Wii games, you can just get rid of that. And then
Yeah.
you play it like
Get the
this.
fuck out of here.
And that makes it feel better.
This
honestly.
feels great, except for this.
Nah,
You have to hit that button
Yeah, it's so
with the
strange.
back of your hand.
And it's back to that weird small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still don't. I don't like that. Number one,
okay.
it's small, and
Yeah, now it becomes too small.
now it becomes a Nintendo controller, but heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
And-
It is wireless, obviously,
Yeah.
so it's weighted with batteries or
Yeah.
rechargeable
yeah,
battery.
yeah.
I didn't like the entire system
Yeah,
as far as the Wii goes. Which now I'm not a Nintendo guy. You
Right.
guys are.
right.
I will say I love the Wii Sports thing that came with it.
Yeah, yeah.
That was fun.
If you're
you
with
know.
if you're with a group of people,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Well,
fun.
certainly.
Yeah.
But if you're by yourself,
Yeah, it gets repetitive.
It's- it's still fun.
Yeah.
But that's to me, that could have been the only game on console.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that Nintendo realized their mistakes because even though this did not come with the Wii U, it is certainly available. And this really, I think, more closely mimics a 360 design. However, the analog sticks are
Even.
even
Yeah.
like
Except
the
on
PlayStation, except on top like the 360. So it's really kind of a mishmash of everything.
Right.
I wonder
gotcha.
how that would feel. Like, like
honestly, I'm the only
consecutively.
one that's held this so
Yeah, that's
far.
true.
It's very light.
yeah, that is a Wii U Pro controller.
It's not bad,
Mm,
but it's not good either.
right.
It feels bigger than it needs to be.
Well,
Quite
I will
honestly.
say this is like aftermarket third party. This is not an official Wii U Pro
Right.
controller, which I'm not.
It
I
just-
assume they're similar.
I don't. To
How many
me, it
buttons are on the
feels.
surface. of
It
that
feels a
controller?
little. I mean, it feels like there's a lot of wasted space there that you can just do away with.
Right.
Figured out why I don't like the 360 controller, just because they're not symmetrical.
Because you like that.
I do.
That feels more natural.
This
Yeah.
this feels a whole lot natural. This
Whole lot of natural.
I could use this. I could this. I do like this. This is it feels comfortable. I will agree with Sean. There's too much wasted space, but it does feel good.
And it meets that standard new controller style.
It does.
Now, obviously, what's going to come with your Wii U is this gargantuan. thing.
Yeah, which weighs in excess of
I would have to
39
say,
pounds.
everybody's first opinion on this is how the shit do I hold it?
Yeah, that was the
And-
exact thing.
You know, it's very far apart. If you see how far apart my hands are,
It's like
And
8
it's-
inches long.
Yeah.
its layout. You still have you got triggers here, triggers there. This, you got your symmetrical sticks, if you will. Obviously, you have your stylus.
Switchblade style.
There's
It took me 5 years to find the stylus in this thing, by
Yeah.
the way.
3DS, I'm used to that. I thought the stylus would be over here, and I was
Mhm.
feeling, and nothing happened.
Yep.
That happened a lot. doesn't it?
Will you let me finish, please?
Yeah, don't be a jerk, guy.
You got a built-in microphone, which absolutely 1% of games use. TV controller, which actually 1% of people use. You do have the camera. Let's see, volume control. And obviously, one thing that's great is, you don't have to use the TV to play. You have
Yeah,
it right
that's-
here if you want it there.
I mean, that controller is basically just
my-
a souped up version of Nintendo's handheld
My
console.
main issue, however, anytime I'm gaming, often I have to just, I'm doing something over here using one hand. If I'm laying down...
Keep going.
You let me finish this goddamn segment or what?
I'm just waiting for you to keep talking.
One hand right here, it becomes a little awkward to
Yeah.
hold.
Yeah, it's so wide that it unbalances itself if you don't have both hands
exactly.
Were you done?
Yeah.
Did you finish your...
I finished my goddamn segment.
And a one hand rant.
When I first got my Wii U, I took this out of the box, and I was
And
like...
I threw it away.
And I was like, why did I get a fucking mini TV with this thing?
Yeah.
What are all these buttons on this television? Where's the Blu-ray slot? How do I...
Where do I
I
put
looked
cable
at
to
it.
this?
I looked at it, and I was like, how do you play anything with this?
This
Like,
has to be the oddest design.
Yeah. I started playing a game on the TV, not on the screen, and realized outside of this, it's a normal controller.
Yep.
Just a completely normal controller. The buttons are exactly where you would expect them to be on a controller, just wider apart.
Now, granted, that one's analog sticks are also parallel, like this one's is,
Right.
like a PlayStation one. Except I don't mind it on something like that because
Right.
it's so wide that you kind of
Yeah.
lose the form of
Yeah.
it being like a standard
Yeah.
controller.
And I didn't even realize. I thought at first that the screen was meant for side things in games, like in Zelda the map,
Yeah.
or in Mario, just
Which it can be.
whatever.
It can.
Yeah,
if you want it.
absolutely. But then I realized you could press that TV button and you could play the game on this screen,
Which is pretty cool.
and not only does it allow somebody to watch TV while you're playing, maybe you're getting ready to go to bed and you want to just finish the game you're in, finish the
Yep.
level you're in. You can do that, and you can turn the entire console off right there.
From there,
Yep.
My one big problem with this is the battery.
Yes.
The battery
Sorry.
is terrible.
And there, many people apparently have complained about that. Now, when I'm playing it from completely charged, I would say I'm lucky if I'm just playing on that and
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
TV to get maybe 4 hours.
Yeah.
Of it.
I have
so-
always kept it plugged in
Hmm.
because it seems like if I don't, it dies just
Too quickly.
Yeah, too quickly. And maybe that's because I didn't charge it enough before I started playing, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of missed a little segue in there about when they broke into wireless controllers.
That
But
is
yeah,
true.
we sure
That was-
did.
That was
Yeah.
kind of like with the 360 controller. I mean, there were wireless ones for the PlayStation and stuff like that too. But
Obviously, yeah.
God, they were.
They
were
went from
a nightmare.
optional, like you could go out and buy one, to they came with the system.
Yep.
Mhm.
The optional ones I had anywhere were crap.
Yeah, the wireless technology that came with PlayStation 3 and 360 controllers was like the gold standard.
Yeah.
I will say, in many ways, obviously everything's moving to wireless. There are certain things that I would still absolutely prefer wired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is a controller one of them though?
it depends on the console.
I prefer the wireless.
I prefer wireless,
ones.
and there's one simple reason. Because the wired controllers, or even, for instance, this controller here, it came with a wire that I could plug up to the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
mini USB.
It was like this long.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Can I say that Wii U, or not the regular, for God's sakes, the stick.
The stick.
Biggest issue when you get into wireless is how many of these fucking things I go through with all of my systems together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for God's sakes, I come home with a satchel of batteries to fit
Well,
all
but,
my
I mean-
controllers.
Like this, that doesn't have those.
Right.
So, you know, it
Well,
charges.
they did
Yeah.
move into the chargeable, which the Wii U is. That is,
Right. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the PS3.
Yeah,
PS4.
the original 360 ones, I mean, they had like a slot, because this is a wired one, obviously, but
Yeah.
they had like just a battery pack. You plop it out.
So, the Wii that we have at my house
Mm.
has the rechargeable batteries that
Right.
they charge and go in the
Mhm.
port, and we just set them on there when we're done. But I never play it.
Yeah.
And this, I like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's an instant improvement.
It-
Certainly on the controller aspect.
I love the analog sticks, the bumpers. I mean, I held it for 5 seconds before the
Yeah.
show. It would take me a little while to get used to how I wanted to hold it,
Yeah.
but I do. I love this thing.
Yeah.
That thing is to
I
me.
will
This
say-
is my favorite since the Super Nintendo
Yeah.
that Nintendo's done.
One thing I will say when you're holding it, a lot of games utilize, for example, if you're going to, you know, like, I'll say Super Mario 64, to orient the camera, you use the C.
Yeah.
A lot of Wii games utilize the gyroscope feature in this to where you would look like that. Now, granted, that I don't prefer that. That's too much motion on my part. If I'm laying down, I have to get up to look around.
Right.
But, you know, it is an interesting little feature added in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But that is my favorite controller-wise thing Nintendo has come out with since the Super Nintendo.
And I can
like
really
that.
appreciate breaking away from the TV. It's a hybrid of a handheld and a console.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. You know, Ashley watches TV and, you know, say I want to play a game. And for the longest time, well, we can't share the TV.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and there's your answer right here.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's like you're saying that's your favorite new Nintendo controller post like Super Nintendo and stuff. I do have like a weird affection for the GameCube controller. It is, we don't have one to show unfortunately, but it is like an amalgam of a controller.
it is unique to say the least.
I do agree though that it's good that Nintendo finally went the way of like a modern style of controller.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not with this necessarily because it's also a TV, but with this styling and everything else with it, that this will probably be the style of the future controller.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see the PlayStation 4 one; it's got so many bells and whistles, just like this Wii U one has. It has a touch screen with buttons. It has lights on
Yeah,
the back
the
that
bumpers.
indicate different things in game, depending on what game you're playing. It's like it's miraculous. There's a share button, like. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep in mind, there's not a start and select button like there have been for decades on a PlayStation
Yeah.
4 one. There's an option button, which does both those buttons in one,
Mhm.
and a share button, which immediately allows for like YouTube and Twitch
Mhm.
gaming.
It's incredible the
The links that they've came and
Yeah.
well
yeah.
the evolution
yeah,
of, I mean, you know, 1985,
yep,
2015.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a little larger.
Where's the screen
Right.
in this one, for God's sake?
Yeah, come on, Nintendo. Why did I have to wait 30 years?
Yeah.
My favorite controller now, though, is a keyboard
And a mouse.
and
Yep.
a mouse. Honestly, I hardly ever pick up a controller anymore. It's
Yeah.
all keyboard.
I do, depending on what game it is. I mean, we three of us here
Yeah, make that.
play a lot of PC games nowadays. It's a
Right.
cheaper alternative. It's and for some they prefer the type of controls that come with it.
boring.
Yeah, I do too.
WSAND.
But you can also you can use controllers on PCs. A lot of people just kind of blank that out.
Yeah.
And for a lot, depending on what game it is, I do that.
Yeah.
It's super strange to play a racing game or a fighting game
Yeah.
with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
See, you two have got me so used to using a keyboard. Any game I play on PC, race and fight,
Well,
I have to have that.
You're not going to get more precise on a first-person shooter or any
Yeah.
3D-oriented aiming than a mouse.
First person shoot.
Yeah, and see that is my
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah.
is FPS.
Well,
I think that wraps up our controller shootout, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
we'll conclude here.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and that'll conclude our controller shootout and
Yeah. That's,
exploration through all the controllers we have, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could have had all the ones and more.
Yeah.
But obviously we're hitting about an hour into this, so
Yeah.
we could go on all day about
Oh, yeah.
controllers.
Yep.
Really.
They've come quite a ways in 30 plus years.
Yeah, they have.
From a box to a miniature television.
Yeah, actually, that really
That's Nintendo alone.
summarizes
right
it a
there.
lot.
Um,
Yeah, they've got touch screens, they've got mic inputs and
Yeah.
breath sensors and all sorts of other weird
You
stuff.
cannot play this game drunk.
Yeah.
Controllers in a nutshell. Controller power.
Yes.
Thank you. Come back tomorrow. It's a different show. Get a program. Tip your waitress.
And we do hope that you enjoyed this type of show more than our old type of show.
I don't know about that. I love
Or-
that show.
At
I-
least
I
as,
think you're
the only
as
one.
much.
I think you're the only one that.
it too.
Yeah, I liked it. It was
See,
quality.
I wouldn't say quality, but
Well, boys, what are we doing next week?
I think we'll start our controllers, or not even control. Holy shit!
Wow.
We will start our
And I'm the old
console.
tired guy.
Console.
Different C word. Different C word. We'll start our console spotlight series, where we'll probably be taking a look at the Sega Genesis, right?
Sega fucking Genesis.
yes.
Sega.
Sega.
Ooh.
That was a little creepy.
A little off key there, but.
Yep.
Well, ladies
But,
and gentlemen. Okay.
My
guys
dog
want-
is named.
You guys want your
Sega.
couch back?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
All right, I'm out of here. See you later.
Yeah, but I hope you'll join us
Whoa.
next time on the Big Hairy Pixel Show for the goddamn.
Why am I smiling?
Continue.
What's going on?
I hope you'll join us next time on the Big Hairy Pixel Show for the first episode of our console special.
Well,